Hey, welcome to The Explainer. So get this, what if in just a couple of years, we're not just using AI, but we have entire AI teams working for us, and they're powered by computers that are, frankly, kind of beyond what we can even wrap our heads around today. Well, that's exactly the future the experts at IBM are predicting for 2026. And today, we're going to break down exactly what that means for all of us.
So what's the big story here? What's going to define AI in 2026? You might be thinking it's some single magic bullet algorithm that just changes the game overnight. But that's not it at all. Instead, what we're looking at is a powerful, a convergence of three totally distinct but interconnected forces all hitting at the same time.
Okay, so force number one. Get ready for a completely new kind of workforce. And I'm not just talking about, slightly smarter software. No. We are talking about truly autonomous AI agents. Agents that can take on really complex jobs, not just behind a screen in the digital world, but out there in the physical world too.
All right, second. This incredible new AI workforce, it needs a totally new kind of engine to run on. And what's coming down the pipe isn't just an upgrade, it's a complete overhaul of the computing power that makes AI tick. Seriously, it's going to make today's tech look like an old dial-up modem.
And finally, number three. This whole new era of AI, it's not going to be the Wild West. Far from it. It's going to be governed by a brand new set of rules, all focused on safety, on trust, and on figuring out how we humans can actually collaborate with AI effectively. All right, you ready? Let's dive in.
So let's kick things off with the what. This is all about how AI is evolving from just being a simple tool that we tell what to do into an active participant. Really, a whole new kind of labor force in our economy.
Okay, so first things first. You got to forget this idea of a single, all-powerful AI that does everything. That's not where the action is. The really big shift here is something called multi-agent orchestration. The best way to picture it? It's like building a custom-made, specialized AI project team for every single complex goal you have.
So, how does a team like this actually, work? Well, it's actually a surprisingly human-like process. You've got the planner agent, which is basically your project manager. It breaks down the big goal and figures out the game plan. Then you have your worker agents. These are your specialists. The coder, the data analyst, the researcher, each one just hammering away at their specific piece of the puzzle. And then, and this is so crucial, you have a critic agent. It's the quality control, the one that checks the work, flags issues, and makes sure the final output is flawless before you ever even see it.
And when you have these teams, it naturally leads to our next big trend, the rise of a full-on digital labor workforce. We're talking about autonomous systems that can understand a task, execute these incredibly complex workflows, and plug right into the business software we already use. And all of this happens with a human still in the loop, providing that crucial oversight and strategic direction. It's a total force multiplier for what we can achieve.
And get this new workforce isn't just stuck behind a screen. Physical AI is taking an absolutely massive leap forward. We are moving way beyond robots that just follow simple, hard-coded rules like if you see a wall, turn left. We're talking about robots that genuinely learn about the physical world inside super realistic simulations. They get physics, they get gravity, they get how objects interact, and that's what's finally making them ready for real, large-scale commercial production.
Okay, so we've got this incredible new AI workforce. But what's the engine that's actually making all of this possible? Well, again, it's not just one single breakthrough. It's really about three fundamental shifts in the very nature of computing itself.
The first piece of this new engine, honestly, it sounds like something straight out of science fiction. It's called quantum utility. Here's a simple way to think about it. Today's computers are amazing at solving problems that are kind of like straight lines. But quantum computers, they can explore all the tangled, curvy, complex possibilities all at once. By 2026, the idea is that we'll be combining both classical and quantum to finally tackle problems in things like logistics and material science that are just flat out impossible for us to solve today.
All right, the second big shift is something called reasoning at the edge. The genius here is that we figured out how to take the complex, step-by-step thinking power of those giant AI models you hear about and distill it, shrink it down into much smaller, super efficient models. So small, in fact, that they can run directly on your phone or your laptop, no giant data center required. And the result of that? It's profound. Think about it. You get incredibly powerful AI with total, complete privacy because your personal data never has to leave your device. Plus, you get instant, zero-lag responses. This is an absolute game changer for anything that needs to be fast and secure, from self-driving cars to critical medical devices.
Okay, the final piece of this new engine is, well, it's maybe the most mind-bending of all. It's called amorphous hybrid computing. So you have to forget thinking about a single computer or a single server. This is more like having a super intelligent symphony conductor for a whole orchestra of different kinds of computer chips.
So instead of trying to force everything to run on just one type of processor, like a GPU, this system brings together a whole all-star team of specialized chips. You've got your standard CPUs and GPUs, of course, but you're also bringing in the newer players, like TPUs, those quantum processing units we just talked about, and even wild brain-inspired neuromorphic chips.
And the system is smart enough to act just like that conductor. It looks at an AI task, breaks it down, and automatically sends each little piece to the absolute perfect chip for that specific job. I mean, it is the ultimate in efficiency. We're talking about squeezing every last drop of performance out of the hardware.
Okay, so we have this advanced AI workforce. We have the powerful new engine to run it all. But that leaves the biggest question, right? How do we, as humans, fit into this picture? How do we interact with all this? And that brings us to our final, and maybe most important section, building a shared and trustworthy future with AI.
And this is where a really cool concept called social computing comes into play. Just imagine this. You're working on a project. It's you, your human colleagues, and several different AI agents, all operating together in the same shared digital space. The AI isn't just sitting there waiting for commands. It understands the context of your conversations, it gets your goals, and it proactively starts offering suggestions and completing tasks. It's really about creating a true team, a seamless collaboration between humans and AI.
But, of course, to build any kind of trust in a shared space like that, you have to have clear rules of the road. And that is the whole driving force behind the next trend, verifiable AI. This is all about making AI systems auditable, traceable, and transparent. And a big part of this push is coming from the arrival of some very serious regulation.
The biggest one to watch here is the EU AI Act. It becomes fully applicable by the middle of 2026. And you should really think of it like this. Remember how GDPR came along and basically set the global standard for data privacy? Well, this act is poised to do the exact same thing, but for AI governance. It's a really big deal.
So what does that actually mean in the real world for you and me? Well, it means the days of black box AI, where we have no idea how it works, are numbered. Companies building this stuff are going to have to show their work. They'll need to provide documentation on how they tested their models, be totally upfront with you when you're interacting with the bot, and prove that the data they used to train it was all sourced properly and ethically. It is a huge, huge step towards accountability. So when you put all of these pieces together, right? You've got the multi-agent workforce, you have this wild new amorphous hybrid engine, and you have this shared fabric of social computing, you start to see that we're building something so much bigger than just a better tool. In a very real sense, what we're building is a new form of collective intelligence, a kind of real-world swarm.
Look, these trends aren't just some abstract technical predictions for the distant future. These are the fundamental building blocks of what's coming, and coming fast. The technology is falling into place. So the real question, the one left for all of us, is what are we going to choose to build with it? Thanks for watching.